All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, June 20th. When I tell you it's Thursday, June 20th, I'm literally recording this at midnight. So, yes, Thursday, June 20th, but essentially the night before these games take place, because at the time of watching this, I'm going to be on a plane. I'm away again for the weekend. I've been traveling like a madman this summer and will continue to do so for the summer because we have so many things that were just pre-booked: weddings, bachelor parties, all that type of stuff. But nonetheless, guys, it is Thursday, June 20th. Recording this the night before. We got a smaller than normal, but normal for a Thursday, MLB slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props or nerfies or that type of thing that we like within the game as well. Note, we are recording this the night before, so probably not many player props that we're going to toss your way, but as always, guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment. That is where all of my final plays will live. We might add some stuff in, like the player props that I'm talking about and that type of thing. In terms of last night or tonight, we actually had a positive night. Now, you probably look at this and you go, oof, Ev, that's more red than green. But take a peek at the Reds. They were both, two half-unit plays. We had the Tigers' money line and the Tigers' first five, both half-unit. Both those lost. And then the same things for the Reds' money line and first five. So essentially, that is 2 losses on the board. We had 3 wins on the board with the Nerfy in that same Tiger and Braves game. And then the Red Sox and Blue Jays over. And then Rhys Hoskins. That game is actually still going on, but he's already been pinch hit for, so we chalk it up as a dub. So yeah, a 3-2 night monetarily wise. We pick up a small amount of units, but you're probably alarmed. Oh, that's more red than green. Like I just said, take a closer look. 0.5 units on our losses, essentially, equaling, I guess you could say, 2 losses overall. Our ride of the day, unfortunately, gotta drop the womp womp. I loved this one from Big Al. This was his second one in a row here. He had the Astros and White Sox Nerfy. That cashed. The Mariners and Guardian bottom of the 9th. The Guardians score a run. This is a fun one though. A little bit of a Nerfy parlay. Loved to jump on board with it. Unfortunately, it does not come through. We dropped the womp womp. But guys, if you don't know what the ride of the day is, and we'll try to stay consistent with this while I'm traveling, but obviously the videos take a little bit of a different approach. But use that hashtag ride of the day in the comments. You got a chance to be featured in the next video, win or loss. If you win, we ride with your pick again. If you lose, like Big Al just faced there, we got to face the womp womp. But yeah, get those ride of the days in. What people don't realize is that if you go through and look at the ride of the days, like there's some awesome plays that you guys are throwing out each and every day that can help you just with your betting overall. So go ahead and check those out. But yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. The next few days, the videos will look a little bit different, but we're still going to do our best to get them out, even if we're waking up, half hungover and stuff. We're going to put in the work. We're going to grind. We're going to bring the videos to you guys. But we got Washington taking on Arizona here for game number 1. On the mound for Washington is going to be Mackenzie Gore going up against Ryan Nelson. Now, I feel like I've said as of late, I can't really seem to get behind Mackenzie Gore. He does in his last 5 starts have more good starts than bad starts. He has 3 good starts. You can even say like 3.5, maybe 4 out of his last 5. The only time that he didn't pitch too well was against the Mets, who the Mets are playing some damn good baseball now. Going up against Ryan Nelson, though, I don't care if Mackenzie Gore has kind of struggled. Ryan Nelson has been absolute, Like, okay, are we going to put in a lot of weight into his 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run game against Chicago? I don't think so. So this is going to be a spot for me to lean towards Washington. From the offensive perspective, I do think Arizona has the better bats, but man, oh man, I'm not deciding to trust Ryan Nelson whatsoever, especially on the road this year. On the road, he's got a 1.7 whip, a 5.4 FIP, an expected FIP of 4.5, so it doesn't even get that much better. A batting average against 308, which is kind of crazy because his batting average against on the season is nearly 320, so, it's not even worse on the road, but still just absolutely terrible. But the one thing I would say, and I like to give you guys both sides of the story, Mackenzie Gore literally throws fastball, occasionally a slider or changeup, right? Arizona is actually the number 1 team in terms of runs above average against fastballs in the last 30 days. So if you're betting Arizona, you want to take a little bit of the price there, right? Like you do have a plus 120 price tag. That right there is your reasoning. But it's not enough to get me to that. So I'll lean towards Washington overall in this spot. When it comes to a total, I don't have the biggest of feelings on this one. You have 2 bad pitchers on the mound. I'll lean towards the over, but, in all honesty, look at that. It's set at 9. If this was 8.5, I'd like it because I could see a 5-4 win for either side. But you're probably looking at a push if it ends there, right, with a 9. So maybe we look to try and, maybe want to get an 8.5, but I'll lean towards the over. I think it's pretty silly to lean towards the under with these two pitchers on the mound. Again, Mackenzie Gore's been better. Still something about him I don't totally trust. And like I mentioned, no player props really. Honestly, we have barely any player props in today's video just because we're recording this the night before, but keep an eye on the pinned comment. That's the biggest thing I can give you guys. We will have some player props added most likely if the travel's not too bad tomorrow. We got a couple flights with a layover, but hoping to add some more plays. So keep an eye on the pinned comment. If we don't, then no player props for today. But as of right now, just got to be honest with you guys. Don't expect too much from player props. All right, Cleveland taking on Seattle. Cleveland won yesterday, aka again, I'm recording this the night of, so they won tonight, 8-0 in this spot. Woo! Did not pitch too well. BB went 6 innings. On the mound today is going to be Logan Allen going up against Luis Castillo. Logan Allen has had some spot starts where it's like, you know, kind of head scratching, but looks like he may have turned it around as of late. 2 good starts back to back, and overall he's been pitching fairly well on the road, right? 1.08 whip at home compared to a 1.5 on the season. 3.4 FIP compared to a 4.3. Batting average against at a flat 200 compared to a 280. So there is some, you know, good angles here for Logan Allen going up against Luis Castillo, who obviously has kind of had his ups and downs as well, but he is a very, very good pitcher. But overall, I think the differentiating factor here, I feel like a scientist or a mathematician saying that, I think the biggest thing here is going to be taking a peek at the batting, and I do think Cleveland has better bats. If we jump into the dashboard here, which, by the way, guys, if you guys do want access to this dashboard, all you have to do is become a channel member. $2.99 per month. That is it. No extras, no if, no whatever. $2.99 per month. You get a breakdown of each and every game, each and every day, from a pitching perspective, from a bullpen perspective, the pitches that those pitchers are going to throw, the batting last 30 and the batting against specific pitches. Really, really good. And just the win rates overall up here. Really good tool to start your research on. You know, if you see green, it's good. If you see red, it's bad, right? So go ahead and check it out. Become a channel member. $2.99 a month. I'll have a link in the pinned comment, but I'll also have, actually, I won't have. YouTube does it automatically. There's a join button somewhere around the subscribe button as well, built into the YouTube interface. So if you do want to become a channel member and get access to this, go ahead and sign up. $2.99 a month. Appreciate everyone, big time, everyone that chooses to support. But this is what I'm looking at here. The Cleveland bats, last 30 days against righties, 6th best average, 4th best WRC plus, striking out the fewest, 4th best on base, OPS 6th, ISO 12th, slugging 8th. So they're a top 10 team virtually when it comes to batting righties. And I know that Castillo is a good pitcher, but his 86 plate appearances against in his career against his current roster, 305 average against, a WOBA of 356. Expected WOBA jumps down to 305, so a little bit better, but expected slugging of 422. I think that he could struggle to some degree, hoping that Logan Allen can kind of reel it in, because like I said, he's been a little spotty, but at home he's been trustworthy. Give me the Guardians for plus money here. When it comes to the total, I think the Guardians get there, so I'm going to actually lean Guardians team total over, but full game, I'm going to lean under. I have to trust Castillo, even though I kind of just spent 2 minutes kind of ripping him apart. So essentially, I'm talking out both sides of my mouth here. I'll lean full game over, but I do think the Guardians probably put up like 4 today. So maybe Logan Allen can kind of go out there and show off too. Because a 4-3 game, you could still make the argument that Castillo pitched okay because maybe the bullpen gives up a couple, but we stay under that 8.5 mark. But yeah, I think my predominant lean may just be Cleveland for the plus money. Like, why not? Even odds, right? All right, Minnesota taking on Tampa Bay. I look at this one, and I'm a little bit kind of shocked by where the line is. Right now, we have Minnesota minus 120 up against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay wins yesterday 3-2, but overall, you have Littell on the mound, who has struggled on the road this year, going up against Woods Richardson, who has pitched really well at home, and you have a Minnesota offense that is pretty damn good. So I think you almost have a steal at Minnesota minus 120. Give me them on the money line. I'm hoping by the time we actually probably bet this tomorrow, because I'm recording this the night before. I don't know if you guys realized I'm recording this the night before. I've told you a million times. I hope we can still get the same value, because I could almost play this up to like minus 135. Maybe I'm missing something here, but coming off of a loss, I don't care about the getaway or what they have next. Like, you know, let's put this game in a vacuum and say, yeah, they're going to, what are they? I think they're going out to the West Coast, but go win this game. Like, it's not like they've won 2 and they're going to get complacent in game 3, right? Give me them on the money line here. When it comes to the total, it's sitting at 8 right now. I think that makes sense. I think it's another 4-3 type of game, just like we just talked about. So give me the under as well. Hopefully Woods Richardson can kind of keep Tampa Bay in check, and maybe the bullpen, which is a decent bullpen, right? Above average bullpen, can kind of also maybe allow 1 run. So I think Tampa Bay, again, scores like 3 runs. Give me Minnesota as well as the under, hoping Minnesota doesn't go off offensively, because that would blow the under. Hey, real quick, guys, before we do get to the rest of the games, I wanted to shout out the merch brand we have here on the channel. If you guys do want to check it out, go ahead and head over to fademe.store. I'll also put a link in the pinned comment, and it's in the description as well. We have tons of new stuff, like the Blackout Collection, which is pretty damn cool, but some of our new arrivals we'll dive into here. We got the rear view mirrors are smaller than windshields for a reason. Always look forward, forget about the past. We got the Gambler Collection, one of our best-selling collections yet. And then this is honestly one of my favorite tees we've ever produced. They don't boo nobodies, right? It's got the sort of ombre, I don't know what you'd call it, the faded, fade me in the front, and then, no pun intended, and then they don't boo nobodies. The guy's drinking a beer, watching the sunset, probably while all of his haters are going, yap, 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 yap. Go check it out, guys. You can use the code, what should the code be? I actually have one here, but I'm thinking vacay, because I've been on vacation crazy amount. Use code vacay, get 20% off for the next 2 days. So that's going to be Thursday and Friday prior to the weekend. Use code vacay. It's spelled right here. You're going to 20%, excuse me, I'm not that crazy. 20% off any of these products. Head over to fademe.store. Again, that code is vacay. You need help spelling, because I'm the spelling bee champ. VACAY. It's going to give you 20% off. Head over there, use that code fademe.store. Help support what we're doing here. And the merch is honestly great quality stuff, guys. I don't promote, or I don't publish any merch if I don't try it and test it and really stand behind it. We got a good thing going here. Check it out, fademe.store, promo code vacay. All right, next game up, not necessarily one I have too much interest here. We have the White Sox taking on the Stros here. Spencer Arrighetti I've seen as a listed starter, but I've also seen in a couple different places that he is, or could potentially be, I should say, not the starter, right? So I do think for the all intents and purposes of this breakdown, we roll with Spencer Arrighetti, Spencer Spaghetti. Because the starter for Houston's not going to impact my decision all that much. They're heavily juiced at minus 180 right now, winning 4-1, kind of like we thought that they would anyways. Today, you got a really good price tag at them. I wish I pulled trigger on them. They didn't necessarily get to Garrett Crochet, but again, what I said in in Wednesday's video was that you're just getting a good price for a really good offense, and they end up winning. So I'm going to lean towards Houston again. I just don't think I can get behind a price tag of minus 180, understandably so. In terms of what we have from a total perspective, I'd like to know that Arrighetti is the expected starter, because if that's the case, I don't mind the over. I just want to see where it comes in at, and I know the graphic says 9, but you can get this at 8.5 for about minus 120 right now on ESPN Bet, so maybe 8.5 is more or less a realistic total for us to take a peek at, because if it's Spencer Spaghetti on the mound, I think the White Sox could put up, 3 runs, and if you have a total of 8, I still expect the Astros to be able to get to Chris Flexen, who I wouldn't, trust as far as I could throw him. So yeah, give me the over in this spot. But Houston money line's probably my play, but you're kind of priced out at this point. Maybe Houston first 5, but now you're putting a lot of weight into Spencer Spaghetti. The Rockies finally get it done. They win 7-6 in Wednesday's game. They're plus 175 dogs. They win it today. The one thing I'll say here is that I still don't necessarily mind like a crazy flyer look at the Rockies, just because I think the Dodgers are priced out and they just feel like they've been so inconsistent. Even these games have been decided by like a couple runs here, the last 2, right? So I don't have much trust in the Dodgers. But the only thing you could say about Ty Blach, who's pitching for Colorado, is he's good against lefties. There's like one lefty in the Dodgers lineup that he's going to be facing tomorrow, I think. It's Ohtani and then Freeman. So I guess, yeah, 2 of their best bats, that could help. But everyone else is going to be batting from the right side. So it's not his forte. I think that this is probably a spot in which, Colorado might be my lean again, just because I think there's only value on them. But yeah, I can't really seem to get behind the Dodgers based on how much they, we've almost put them on like the season permanent ban list, you know what I mean? So at minus 250, yeah, see you later with that one. Even their minus 1.5 odds are minus 170. So you get what I mean? Like, I'm not telling you to bet Colorado. I'm just giving you a number reason why I don't think that there's much value in the Dodgers. The one thing I could say is a Dodgers team total could be kind of like enticing against Block, but you're going to probably get that at 5.5, 6, like whatever it is. Like, they're going to have to score a boatload of runs. I get that it's in Colorado, so that helps, but overall, just not for me. So I hate to kind of dance around it, but this is probably a pass game. But Colorado has the only money line value that I could see so far. And then in terms of a total, I'll lean towards the over, but it would be, instead of banking on Colorado to hit, it would be Dodgers team total over, depending on what you can get it at. Like, maybe you look at them. In fact, I could probably find it really quick as you do it. Let's see. Please hold. Colorado team, Los Angeles team total. I don't know if I hope I didn't say that multiple times. Over 6.5 is minus 130. You see what I mean? You can't even get like good odds. So hell, you know what? Maybe we go over 9.5. They'll go double digits for plus 250. Maybe that's the value play, but probably a pass game. I apologize, but to take up your time, but when prices are like this, I don't really know where to land. All right, Oakland taking on Kansas City. Not to jinx or anything like that, but bottom of the 8th right now in this game as we're recording after midnight. Athletics up 5-1. They're about to take the first 2 games of the series. Now you have Seth Lugo on the mound, which I do think is a really good spot for him just overall, especially with these Oakland A's kind of like beating the brakes off of the Royals, which is crazy to say. But if we get good odds on this one, now we do have the odds right now, minus 140, but after Oakland wins, maybe you get better odds, right? Royals all day long. I don't think that they get swept. Do they have another? They might have another. No, I don't think they play again, right? So yeah, I think this is Royals all day long. Trusting Seth Lugo, the guy he's made us some coin this season. I'm trusting him. I also wouldn't mind his hits or runs, earned runs, props as well. I think it's a good spot for Seth Lugo. 39 plate appearances against this Oakland team, 270 average against, an expected average against of 232 with a 290 expected WOBA. I like to see that. Mitch Spence on the mound for Oakland. Honestly, don't really have much bad to say about him, just other than the fact that he's not Seth Lugo. So yeah, give me Seth Lugo in this spot over him. I know people are probably going to come down and be like, well, Seth Lugo was starting the year so well, but his last, 3 or 2 starts against Cleveland, good offense, right? Against New York Yankees, good offense. Against the Dodgers, good offense. So I don't care what you say about his last 3 starts. That's a tough little gauntlet to go through. That ain't the Oakland A's. So give me them on the money line. When it comes to a total, I like the under, but probably because I think that the A's struggle to get to 4 runs. So maybe under 3.5 or even under 4.5, we can get a price at it, is where I'd lean in terms of a total here for a team total for them. Hey, real quick, guys, as I'm going through this and putting it together in post and whatnot, I realize we're flying through it. It's really late. We're getting on an early flight tomorrow. Hope you guys don't mind a quick video. I figured it might save some time and be even easier to make with more energy if we do it late night versus getting up at 3:30 or 4 and doing it. So hopefully you guys don't mind. Let me know in the comments by dropping a 17. You made it 17 minutes into the video. If you're understanding of it. I know you're probably gonna be like, yeah, I wish that there was more detail, or I wish you weren't talking a mile a minute, or I wish there's player props. I get all that. I wish there was too, but sometimes we got to fit it in the schedule and do this stuff real time. So hopefully you guys don't mind that. Drop a 17 in the comments. That lets me know that you're kind of understanding of it. But yeah, as I'm going through this, I'm seeing that we're flying through. But you know what? It is what it is. I hopefully guys you're still finding some good information, and at least maybe put me on like half speed if I'm talking too fast. It is what it is, guys. Appreciate everyone that tunes in. Love you guys. We'll get back into the video now. All right, next up, we have the Yanks taking on Baltimore. I do think that this could be a spot in which you look at, Baltimore for plus money. They did almost what I thought they would. Garrett Cole pitched 4 innings. I'm not going to blame the whole loss on him and whatnot, but like I said, I leaned Yankees in, Wednesday's video. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say I wish I went Baltimore, but I mentioned, I was like, maybe it's a good flyer type spot. Neither pitcher pitched deep into the game or pitched superbly well. And you know what? At that point, then Baltimore wins the game 7-6. Now, the way that broke out was Baltimore. I think it was 1-2 after whatever 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. That is when it went to extras. That's when Baltimore owned. So it's not Garrett Cole's fault. Don't get me wrong. But again, the flyer in Baltimore could have been the spot. I could see that same argument being made today. Cole Irvin on the mound against Luis Gil. Luis Gil has been a lot better, but these offenses are still somewhat consistent with one another. So I do see an angle for Baltimore. But newsflash, I'm leaning New York again. I just think Gil has a little edge over Irvin here. So even though I'm saying, and I started saying, I see the side for Baltimore if you want the plus money, I don't think you're paying a huge premium for New York here at minus 138. If it was like it was yesterday, minus 170, something like that, then yes. But this is a consumable price tag, so give me the Yankees here on the money line. In terms of the total, I think we have 9 runs in this one, because just like yesterday, even though both teams went off, I think at least one of these teams, the offense is too good to not put up, 4 or 5 runs. At that point, the other team's pretty damn good too, right? I think they get to 9 runs here if one of these teams doesn't almost do it by themselves, in complete honesty. I know both these pitchers are good, but both these offenses are filthy. Like, that's how I'd phrase it. Both pitchers are good, both offenses are filthy. And the Orioles are so good at scoring late in games, and over's never out of the question for them. All right, St. Louis taking on San Francisco. St. Louis is coming out of a losing 2 of 3 series against Miami. San Francisco also lost 2 of 3, but I guess against more of an explicable team, right? The Cubs. So this is a tough one here. On the mound for St. Louis is going to be Andre Palante going up against Keaton Winn. Even by saying those 2 names, I automatically am going to go, okay, I'm going to jump to the offense, in which I think St. Louis is the better offense. Neither one of those starters, by the way, are confirmed. So give me St. Louis here on the money line. I think you're getting like a minus 130-ish play for minus 116, minus 115 on most books. So I like that spot. When it comes to a total, I do want St. Louis to score a lot of runs, and that's how I think they win this. It's not like I'm backing Andre Palante to go out there and absolutely shove, right? But overall, he's been pretty damn good in his few starts this season. I think he only has 1 really bad start, and it was against Houston, so like understandable. But overall, I do think that this is probably like a total in which I maybe target the St. Louis side of things, just due to the fact that I want them to kind of score runs against, again, Keaton Winn, who you look at his numbers recently, he just hasn't looked all that great, right? Against good offenses, bad offense, you name it, he hasn't been playing well. So I think in terms of a total, I isolate this to St. Louis and maybe take their team total over, which in doing so, I might be double dipping into money line, right? Like if they score a lot of runs, they probably win the game. So maybe that's too much on one team and backing the team too much, but that's the way that I'm leaning as of right now. All right, SD taking on Milwaukee. I think this game actually just finished up while we were recording, so Brewers take the 2-0 win. Assuming these starters are not confirmed, I would say, just given the fact that this game just shirred up. We have Adam Mazur listed to start for San Diego, and then on the mound for the Milwaukee should be Bryce Wilson. Mazur, 3 starts in, kind of a mixed bag so far. Bryce Wilson, we've seen some decent pitching, some bad pitching, really struggles against left-handed pitchers, but I would say, lucky for him, it's not like a fully stacked lefty lineup for San Diego. If even some of those lefties come in, other than Luis Arias, like those guys are going to come in later on in the lineup, so sure, that's a decent spot there. Mazur also not very good against lefties. Milwaukee only has 2 or 3 lefties. You're going to get Terang, Yelich, and then I forget the other one, but nonetheless, both of their weaknesses shouldn't be on display here. Both pitchers should actually have a decent spot to take an under. That's kind of the argument I was making. I think these pitchers have actually, pull back. Let me summarize this. Both pitchers have had bad enough numbers, and this is assuming Wilson's going. All things can change. Both pitchers have had such bad numbers that I think this total is where it is, and it makes sense where it is. Don't get me wrong, but if both these pitchers pitch against righties better and righty batters better, I think there could be a spot for an under. So that's kind of the way I'm leaning. In terms of where I'd go from a money line play, I'd probably go with the home dog here in San Diego. The Brewers, the Brewers didn't beat them yesterday. I think I said that when we first started. The Brewers coming off of a game against LA, now they're playing in San Diego. Like, that isn't the craziest of commutes. Do you know what I mean? So I still think the Brewers are viable, but San Diego sitting there waiting at home, ready to go with a good offense against neither pitcher should be stellar. Even though I like the under, I think San Diego is the move here. That's going to wrap it up for today's video. I know I probably flew through that in complete honesty. 9 games. Some people will probably be out there cheering from the cheap seats being like, nah, it's still too long. Shut up, dummy. You rant and talk too long. But you know what, guys? It's our show for the people that support. I was going to say it's my show. It's not, because you guys got me to this point. But overall, you know what? I love talking about sports. I love talking about each and every game. If I talked through it fast, it's one, because I'm exhausted. I know I got to get up in literally like 3 hours. And then I guess finally I get worked up and get excited sometimes when I feel like we're hitting a groove. So it is what it is. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and expect some, road videos in the next few days. But we'll still try and get them out as much as we can. We're going down to Austin, Texas for a bachelor party, so we'll get out what we can. But we'll catch you guys in the next one, right? Peace out.